Hey guys, my apologies. I was handling an issue and I let the time slip up on me. I knew I only had a couple of minutes, but it got away from me. So, how is everybody doing? Hey Jamie and Sue and Linda, Patty, Donna, everybody, hi, Marianne. Hopefully you guys can see me. Hopefully we don't have two streams. I think I got that fixed. Who knew all we had to do was log out in a different place and log back in, right? Can you guys hear me? I just want to be sure. Yay, thank you for the sound check, Jamie. Awesome. I'm going to play the intro, guys, and we're just going to go ahead and get started, okay? Yay! So I hope everybody had a happy Valentine's Day. And tomorrow's Fat Tuesday for those of you who are celebrating Mardi Gras. I will be live on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. There will be no file. It will be for Sure Cuts a Lot, and we're going to be talking about tracing. So if for you guys who want to know how you convert your Google image or whatever image that you have over to an SVG in layers for cutting paper and things like that, or iron-on, you don't want to miss that. So, and I'm just making sure you can't hear me, Joyce. If somebody could help Joyce, I think she may need to refresh. Hopefully she can hear me. Turn my volume up just a little bit. Maybe that will help. Maybe that's it. Okay, so that covers that. And I'm going to split my screen here for just a second, guys, because I need to check my overhead camera. Yeah, it's way off. I didn't want to make you guys sick when I switched over to my overhead camera here, because I got tons of stuff going on. Make sure that you guys can see. There we go. All right. Yay. I had to adjust the camera before I switched you guys over because I didn't want to make everybody drunk by wiggling the camera. Okay. All right, so I was just catching up, chat. This is the little box I made, okay? It was inspired by my Tonic Studios die set that I got, my craft kit that I got this month. And I was like, that is just super cute. I bet I can make one of those either in Design Space or Sure Cuts a Lot and do my own designs on it for you guys because they're dies and they're going to be cut and they just do the same pattern over and over. But I wanted to elevate it just a little bit and make it customizable for you guys and show you guys how to customize it. We also had a question earlier this week about uh, having issues when you upload from places like Dreaming Tree or a Sure Cuts a Lot file that someone else has made, like myself, and the score line's not scoring and cutting. So I wanted to kind of cover that for you guys, because even though it deals with Sure Cuts a Lot, it also deals with Design Space. And I wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to upload those outside files that had score lines on them. So, super cute. I did this one for note cards because I've got like tons of scraps where I cut these down. I cut my 12-inch paper down to 8-inch for my printer for print cuts. And I have just tons of these. Well, I thought, why not cut those down to a 3x8 instead of a 4x8, cut it down to a 3x8, fold it in half, and do top fold little note cards for little thank you cards for whatever, and do a little set. So that's what I've done with mine. I stamped them, I folded them over, I stamped them. I used some mica sprays from Nuvo and sprayed on them. Some of them I did heavier than others so that they would have a difference, but you can kind of see that sheen. It's got like a mica sheen on it. And I put some Nuvo drops and stamped them with a little hello note. So cute little note cards, or you can do thank you cards, whatever kind you want. And that's what I made this box to be. The beauty of this box is that you can do the pull-off lid like I have here, or you can do a hinged lid, and you can make the box taller if you want. So let's go ahead and take a look at the file, and then we'll come back and we will put one of these together. You can see I played around. I had a couple of different visions going on that, but I've got this one laid out for you guys tonight, and it is a little bit taller than that one that we did. So let me, I was going to say let's pop over to Design Space, but my Design Space isn't open. I told you guys I was running behind. There we go. Yay, there it is. Now I have two. Wow, now clicking on the icon, you can get 2 pages. Did anybody know that? That's something new. We used to have to go up to File and Window. I just clicked on it and it opened up a second one. I don't know, maybe that was a fluke thing. So you can see where I've been in here. I'm just going to open mine up and show you guys where I brought in some more images from Design Space. I brought in the flowers because I'm putting flowers on these. But I wanted you to see, here is my decorative pieces and what I did to them with some Design Space images. Because I went in and I found, if I can get it to pull up here, I'm in 6.4134, so hopefully we're going to be okay. Cancel. I want it to pull up. Maybe it's not going to show me. Is it because I moved something and didn't save? Maybe that's an issue in 6.4. Okay, well, it's not going to tell me there, so there's more than one way to skin a cat. Let's see. There it is. That border right there, M83C7013. That is the border that I used in Design Space to make that. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys how you can use different images in Design Space, and you can customize this box to be anything that you want. But the first thing that we have to do, and I'm just going to go to a totally new project, you have to upload. And I've got them uploaded here. They are SVG files. I've already uploaded them. You're going to click on upload. You're going to find that file that you downloaded from craftingwithapril.co, and you're going to unzip it. Most of you guys already know how to do that, and then you're going to bring it in here. So I'm just going to bring you in the 2 files and show them to you and what you need to do to set them up. And this would be the same with any Dreaming Tree file or anything that was done in Sure Cuts a Lot that has score lines on it. you're going to have to do this, okay? So I'm going to start with this one. This is just a little extra, and you can see that these are the panel frames here that I've cut, these pink ones. These are for Mother's Day, for Mom and for everybody that you can use. That's just an extra set that I did in case you guys want to use that for a Mother's Day file. So I'm just going to close that out because we're not going to be using it. First thing you do when you bring in your file is you're going to be ungrouping it, okay? And I set it up in Sure Cuts a Lot that everything stayed together, but I forgot to do this one. So these are separate pieces. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is select these and group them. And then you're going to duplicate that because you're going to need one set for the top, one set for the bottom. But if you're not using those, you can just hide them or you can get rid of them. Okay, we're going to be using these tonight. This is your blank frame. So if you want to weld a name in here and some other images, you can do that. This is just a tag that I threw in case you guys wanted to use a little key tag or put a little decor on the front that looks like a lock. You can do that. It was just a little bit of extra. I was playing around in Sure Cuts a Lot, and I was like, oh, why not? I'll just throw it in. These are your corner pieces. If you use these corner pieces, these are not a must. These are an extra. You will need 8 of them, okay? 8 in all. But before you duplicate them and make 8, the first thing you want to do is ungroup it. When you ungroup it and then click on it, you can see that your lines are grouped together. So all you have to do, and this is the way I set mine up. Everybody's may not be set up this way. If they are, that's great. But you're just going to come in here and you're going to change that to a score. Okay? Then you're just going to select both and you're going to attach. It's very important. You must change it to a score and then attach. Otherwise, it's going to cut it and it's going to slice it into pieces. Once you've done that, then you're going to duplicate it and make 4 if you're just going to do the bottom. If you're doing a flip top lid, I'm going to show you guys what you need to do for a flip top lid. If you're doing a flip top lid, you cannot use these on the 2 back corners. So I wouldn't put them on the top at all. Okay? So if you're just going to put them on the bottom, you need 4. If you're going to do a lift-off lid, put them on the top and the bottom, you'll need 8. Now I'm just going to get rid of them. This is your lid, and you are going to, again, ungroup, and then you're going to select the top here. Those are all your lines. Again, you're going to change those to a score. You're going to select the 2 pieces and attach. This is your top and bottom. You need to duplicate it after you've done that. You will need 2 of those. You have to have 2 of those in your file. Okay? This is these are your solid panels. These panels go, you can just ungroup those. There's 2 sets. No, there's 1 set. I'm sorry. You're going to have to select that and duplicate it because you will need 2 sets. 1 for the bottom, 1 for the top. Okay? So make sure you're duplicating that. And I did it this way just so you didn't have to bog down the file and it would load faster and you can do all of your working in here. You can pick your colors and then do all your duplicating and stuff like that without cramming up your canvas, okay? And I'm just going to get rid of those. We don't need those right now. Because I've already set up my file and cut it. And then here is your piece. And I said it was an expandable box. How is it expandable? The first thing you're going to do is ungroup. Again, you're going to select all your score lines here. Change those to score from the cut that they are because they're going to import it cut. And that's just because Design Space has its own score line. And when you're designing in these others, all we have is a line. And Design Space has no way of differentiating what kind of line that is. So it's automatically going to bring it in, whether it's a draw, a score, doesn't matter how you design it, it's going to import it as a cut. So you have to change those. Once you do that, then you're just going to attach. Then your file is ready. You only need 1 of these. But if you want to make the same size box that I did, then you're just going to leave this on, well, it's 4.078. I just made it, guys, and I didn't pay attention really to the height. I just did what I thought looked good. So, I mean, if you want to take it down to 4 inches, you can. But if you unlock this, you can change this up to whatever height you want. If you want to do something for like maybe, I don't know, whatever. If you've got those tall candy sticks, what are they called? I forgot. Pixies or whatever. You can do that in here. I know the name of those things, but they're like in a black and white packaged taffy type candies. Anyway, cowtails, that's what they are. I think that's what they're called. If you're putting something like that in there, doing some Easter candies and stuff, or you want to do this and put a chocolate bunny in there, all you have to do is unlock it and then change the height. And you can change it up to 10.5 if you want to. Totally up to you. I mean, how tall do you want that box to be? Whatever you want to do, okay? So, keep that in mind. I think the smallest I would go is a 3.5 on that height. Just because of the way the top and the bottom are made, you don't want it when you put it together for them to not fit and be too close together. So just make sure, and the way that you can check that is, I'm just going to arrange and move that to the back. You can just place your score line right here on the top of your box. Okay, see, like I have it right there. And then you can bring this one and bring this score line up to the bottom of your box, and you can see how much space you're going to have between them. Okay, so super easy, super simple to see and judge how tall or how short you want your box. And that one is at 3.5 inches, and you can see that there's not a whole lot of space in between the top and the bottom here. So if you're using a pattern paper and you want it to show, you're not going to get a whole lot of it on the front and the back. Sides, you'll get a little bit more. Okay? Everybody with me? Does anybody have any questions about how to upload your Sure Cuts a Lot files and outside files that have solid score lines on them that are actually importing as cut? If you do, just let me know. Now, these are in the frame, or in your file, and these are blank frames. Again, you can make it, if you're using Sure Cuts a Lot or you're using something in there that has a shadow layer, you can do that. What I did was I just went in and I looked at some images, like borders, and I found a border that I liked. Now, you can pick any of them that you want, but I like like these. You could pick these. These will work. Any of these will work, guys. I think I'll grab that one. And I'm looking for the one that one's a good one too. I'm going to grab it. You can get just about any look that you want. You can do some of these that are layered. You can use those too. Oh, that would be cute for glasses. So it depends on how much you want. Ooh, that's big. Wow. Let me size that down so that we can at least see it. So when you pick your images, now if you want to go in there and get intricate, you can do that too. You can get roses or flowers. I'll bring one of those in just so you guys can see. You could even do something like one of those mandalas. Let's see. Anna Griffin has some in here. You can use roses like this and slice them out. You can use roses like this and weld them in. So there are several different ways. You could use this one here. Just depends on your image. You could use this free image here. Could use this image here. Tons of them. This is the rose that I'm using tonight in case anybody wants that. It's MC8B like boy, 7, E like Edward, 1. That's the one I'm using tonight. But there are several images that you can use. You just want to be aware of how thin your lines are going to cut. But guys, I cut some pretty thin lines, and as long as you cut it on intricate cardstock, it should cut fine. If you're having a problem, make sure your mat's clean, make sure your blade is sharp. So you can bring these in, and again, you can, for this one like this, where it's an outline, and this one, instead of borders, you can do it a couple of different ways. And I'm just going to duplicate so we have a couple. And I'm going to ungroup that. And then the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to work with this one first. I'm going to duplicate it. And I am going to go to my contour tool. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want some little accents for the side panels because I don't need much there. So I am going to hide all contours, and then I am going to bring back maybe 3 of these dots, and I'm going to get rid of that top one. Oops, I left a piece. Let me go back and contour that. Don't want that. Okay, so now I have this piece here. I'm just going to size it down, and then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Just because I don't want to rotate the other piece. I'm just going to bring that in and decide that it's a little close to that edge. That looks good. May even just, maybe it's my eyes, but it doesn't look like it rotated fully. Okay, so how would I do that? Because that's just going to cut and just fall out, right? Because there's nothing there. But if you come to your shape and you contour it and you select that centerpiece, then it becomes solid. And now you can take those 2 pieces. I only have 2 layers selected in the layers panel, and I slice. And so now I have that one, and then I can duplicate it and then just flip it horizontal, and now I have that piece too. So that's going to give me a cute little look on the side, and then I'll use my panels under it to give that pop of color. Uh-oh, Shirley, be safe. Yeah, we've been having storms too. So then I'm going to take this one, and I'm just going to size it down. And you may want to do maybe 2 rows. Depends on what you want, what kind of look you want. So I'm just going to do 1. But decide what you want. And then what you can do with these is align. Oops. Center. And then weld it. And that's really not the look I was going for, right? But I just find that it's easier to contour out the top, contour out that bottom. Oops. I want that piece, not that piece. Can't see it. I should have pulled it down. I contoured it backwards. Let me go back. Contour. Let's hide all contours, show all contours. It's not reacting. I want to take that piece out, and there's another one in there. Should be. Oh, no, I didn't get it quite to the edge, so let me undo that. Yeah, if you don't get all the way to the edge, that's what's going to happen. You're not going to have that second contour piece. Okay, let's stretch that a little bit bigger. You don't want it outside the frame, but you do want it touching. Align, center, weld. Then we're going to select it, and then we're going to contour. There we go. There they are. Take those 2 out, and now you have that solid lid that's going to complement those with that same shape. So you are not limited whatsoever on this file, okay? You can weld in anything you want, or you can contour it and slice anything you want. I'm going to ungroup that. Let's just say that I'm just this one's kind of fat. I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to shrink it down and rotate it. Let's see if I can get it to come to the front. There we go. So let's just say for whatever reason I wanted to slice that out instead of welding it in, because all of these pieces in here are loose. You see those? And you don't want those to fall out. So I'm going to contour my piece and hide all contours. And then I can bring this in like I want, and I can slice it out. And then that's going to give me that stencil look so that my colored paper behind this panel will pop through it. Okay? So there are so many images in Design Space, guys. This box is limitless. You can make it taller, you can make it shorter, you can put any design you want in there. And like I said, the one that I gave you that has the floral design in it, it cut fine. So you can cut those. You can weld it or slice in any image into any of these sections that you want, and it's going to work for your box. As long as you don't change the sizes of these and you just contour and slice or weld, the sky's the limit on these. So I can't wait to see some Easter bunny ones. Something with some bunnies somewhere when you guys make yours. Does anybody have any question about the file before we go and put it together? I wanted to see how that looked welded in, just for kicks and giggles. It's a little small. Just keep in mind this piece is small, so you may want to do it the same way that you did this one over here. And that's what I did on mine tonight. I'm just going to rotate that 90 degrees. And all I did was line it up center and slice it. Oops, no I didn't, because center was too close and I pulled it down. Centered it horizontally. And then I sliced it out of a solid on that one so that it matched the sides. And then these two pieces I made decorative like this. You're about to see that anyway. All right. So that is the file, guys. Make sure you go over and you download that. We're going to go to the overhead. And I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way. And we're going to put it together. I am using, I don't know if this paper is still available, guys. This is Anna Griffin's Deluxe Paper Rose Medley. Or Rose Medley paper, whatever you want to call it. And that's what I'm using tonight. Everything is out of that pack except my solid pieces. And it is Cricut cardstock. I just matched up the colors. Oops. I got some extra paper. That was not a color that I wanted to use. I used a blue matte, a new blue matte, and it made all my pieces sticky. Now for my roses, guys, these are just the paper roses. I rolled them up, okay? This was some white cardstock. I inked mine. I inked all my flowers just to give them a little more dimension and depth. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera, but it shows up here. And I put some Nuvo drops in there to look like, if I can get it to adjust, to look like little water droplets. Maybe you can see one right there. To look like little drops of water. They look like little crystals in there. So for those of you who don't know how to roll the flowers, and you can see I did some dark ink on the edges of these. I did a charcoal gray on this one, just to ink the edges and darken them up just a little bit to give it a little bit more dimension. Oops, I guess it better switch over, right? There we go. Sorry, guys. That is the paper that I used right there. And you can see, maybe it'll, there it is, right there. Little water droplets. But I have inked all of these. This one was white. And then I inked it with some pink, pixie pink ink. And I didn't cover the whole thing. That way I got a two-tone rose. You can see that it's white in places and pink in places, just to give it some depth. And then on these, I just inked with a little bit darker just on the edge. And did some of the little water drop crystals on those. And then this one, I inked very, very, very lightly. And then this one I inked a little bit darker. And you can see that smoky edge on them where I used the charcoal ink. And I've got a couple of glue dots there on the center. Hopefully I've got them on the right side. Make sure I roll this the right way so I've got it on the right side. That would be terrible. Trying to think. Yeah, okay. And this is my Cricut floral tool. You can use any quilling tool. I don't think they have these at Cricut anymore. But you can see when you go to roll it. Hopefully. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit closer. You can see how I've got those darkened edges in there. I hope it shows. Just to give my flower a little bit more dimension. A little depth. And I cut this one at 6 inches. I don't remember. I have to go look. I think I went 6 for 3.5 and 2.5 or something like that. And I just let it go. Let it relax a little bit. And like I said, I've got my glue dots on there. You can use liquid glue. You can use art glitter glue. You can use whatever it is you want. I just find that those are pretty sticky and I can reposition if I need to. Can't do that with hot glue. I want this to be a little bit tighter. Guys, the size of your rolled flowers are going to depend on how tightly you roll them and how tight you let them stay. Okay? If you let them expand more, then it's going to be smaller. There we go. And then I just took... this is called Morning Dew. They dry absolutely clear, Nuvo drops. And I just put a couple of little drops on there to look like water droplets or dew. You don't want to overdo it, overkill, but a few won't hurt. And I'm just going to let that sit and dry while we put together the box. Okay, super easy, super simple. Fold your tab. I have lost my bone folder. And I'll show you guys those corners. Can you see? You guys can see, right? Just going to fold it on those 4 scores. And then we're going to glue it. You can use your tape runners, whatever it is you want to use. I'm using art glitter glue. I can get my clog out of there. Uh-oh. There we go. Now on the other one, I glued this just like so and let it dry. Just want to get that even. Make sure that it's even with that edge. You don't want to overhang there and you don't want it too much. At this point, I took this one. I'm not sure if it's going to show. Maybe if I show the inside because it's solid. You can see that I embossed it. So it's embossed. This is when the point where I ran it through my embossing machine. Why did I not do it before I glued it together? Because this is 10.5 inches long and our embossing folders are generally not that large. This is a 5x7 folder. So, I mean, I could just get it in there. But you do want to let it dry because there's so much pressure when you put it through your embossing machine. If you're heavy-handed with your glue, it will squish out and it will glue these two pieces together. So when you open it, it will rip them. Okay? I scored this with the scoring wheel. With the single scoring wheel. The stylus will not score as deeply. The thinner your paper is, the less you're going to get out of the scoring wheels too. The thicker your paper is, the better score you're going to get. So that matters, and it doesn't matter it's the same. I mean, it's the same, but it's different. With a thin paper in your stylus, you're barely going to see your scoring line. You're going to see it a little bit better with the scoring wheel. With the thicker papers, you're going to see it pretty good with your scoring stylus, but it's going to be really good and deep with your scoring wheel. So it does make a difference, but if you're using very thin materials like 65-pound cardstock, it's not going to score very deeply, no matter which tool you use. So your paper does matter, okay? I'm not going to... I am not going to emboss this one because of the stripes. I think it's busy enough. I just wanted that because I was playing around on these and I had so much white area that I wanted to give it some extra. And you can, before you glue your box together, like the base is glued on this, guys, you can check it and test it by putting it on its base. So, very versatile file. The box is really, at this point, pretty much done. Then you're going to take your, got a little boogered up edge right here. That's probably my blade. My blade has been in there for months. It probably needs replacing. You can glue these pieces on now or after. I like to wait till after because I might change my mind and not want them on the box. Because this box is so versatile, you can check pieces and say, okay, I've changed my mind, don't want to use that. Save it for another box later. You're just going to fold all of these tabs. Okay. And then we're just going to glue it. We're starting with the base, or I'm starting with the base. You can start with the lid if you want. They're identical. You're just going to fold those in. You want to glue those to the inside. Make sure your corners are sharp. 90-degree corners. And you're going to fold those in, creating that side panel. Okay, so I'm going to give that a second to dry. And if you're going to be using corners, and I made this one bigger, you can make these whatever size you want. In the file is the smallest you can go. Okay, but you can bring these up to a bigger size. And all you're going to do is fold it in half, and that's going to catch your tab. And then you're going to open it up and fold this piece down. And then you're just going to take a little bit of glue, and you're going to make that corner piece. Just like that. And hold it. And then you can glue that onto any of the corners. Just make sure your seam is to the back. Okay? So that's going to give you a little bit of dimension and a little bit of added fun. You can see this is the smallest. This is the size that's in the file. And you can see how big I made that one. So you can go larger with them if you want. Depends on your design, what it looks like. But super easy to make those corners. You probably haven't, and that's why you haven't, Donna. That 65-pound, it's not going to score it as deeply. Okay? But you can see the scores on that from my scoring wheel. Now, if you want a hinged lid, and that is where I'm just going to go ahead and cut this one just so. You don't have to cut it. I'm just going to cut this where I had already made it. What you're going to do is you're going to, if you want a hinged lid, you're going to cut these two tabs off right here. These two that I'm folding over right here, you're going to cut those two off if you want a hinged lid. And what that will do, instead of a lift-off lid, you're going to glue this to the back from that tab. And you're still going to have your decorative, oops, wrong side. You're still going to have your decorative edge on the back of it. I'm just going to hold that so it glues. This is my mock-up practice. So if it's not straight, you guys don't pay attention. But that will give you that hinged lid. Then you'll need a closure on the front. You can use a magnet, you can use Velcro, whatever it is that you want to use. But you can do a hinged lid with this. Super simple and easy. All you have to do is snip off the two tabs. Change your box. All right. I am considering a hinged lid on this one. As a matter of fact, I think I will. So I'm just going to go ahead and snip those. If you're not doing a hinged lid, you make the bottom and the top identically. So just get rid of those two pieces. And now we'll glue this tab and this tab. And I'm not bending that one over yet because I am doing a hinged lid. Just to remind myself. I like better. Because if I don't, then I will have a trouble getting it to close. I'm going to use my bone folder. Trim up any little edges from your snip that you might have. And then you can start playing around with it. You can place that base in there if you're happy with it and you like the way that it's looking. Because if you're using pattern paper, you might want to turn it around. I tend to put the seam to the back, but really you can't tell. I didn't notice it. Either way, I kind of like that. So once you've decided and you know which way you're going to do that, there's no need to put any glue in the bottom, just on the four sides. Just going to place it inside. Then I'm just going to go in with my bone folder and give that a good rub on the back. Give it time to stick. Depends on your glue. Art glitter glue dries pretty quick. And then you're going to do opposite. If you've got the short side here, you want the long side on this side. Okay? Now you can do it either way. If you want that to be the front, you can do it that way. Totally up to you. It's your box. Okay? You like those corners, Donna? Very easy to do. Very easy. All right. So now I'm just going to take this tab. I'm going to fold it back the other way as well. Give it a good rub. And I'm going to put glue on that. And I am going to place it to the back where it had the tall side. I'm going to put mine on this way. I'm going to put my box in there and then I'm just going to pull this down so that I know I've got it like I want. And it lines up. Just give it a second to stick and then I'll rub it from the inside. Just give it a rub. Fun, fun, fun. And I have some little, guys, you can get these on Amazon. They're little card magnets is what I like to call them. A little disc. Okay. Super, super, super thin. I don't remember the size of them. I wish I did. Maybe one of you girls can remember if you ordered them too. I'm just going to use part of a, you know what? This is just really not that, I really hate to use a whole glue dot on that. You want to let your magnets click together anyway. I really messed that one up. And get rid of that. I think I'll cut it first. And it still didn't cut. He doesn't want to play fair with me today. Oh well. Those are just too long. And those are too big. Starting to feel like Goldilocks here. The link for the magnets, Vicki, we'll get you that link, sweetie. I will post it in the Patreon group. And on the link below. I'm just trying to use some tearing tape. You won't need a whole lot for this box. With your magnets stuck together, you want to put some double-sided something on it. You can use art glitter glue. I don't know how well that will hold with the metal against paper. Should be fine though. Sticking to my scissors. So now I know that which side the magnet is on anyway. Which side I need to stick. If you put them together before you put your stick on, then you don't have to fight it. I am just going to stick it right there on the inside of that lid. And then, probably should have done this before I put the bottom on. Can't pick it up, guys. I'm not going to pick it up with that. There we go. Peel that paper off. And then we're going to close it. Hopefully it will stick to my paper since I don't have the bottom. Yay, it did. Then give it a good push. And that should keep it closed if you're doing a hinged lid. How sweet is this box? I'm just going to set that to the side. Now I did ink my leaves and put some drops on them as well. My Nuvo drops, you can see. All of this in here probably ain't going to be showing, just the edges, so I didn't bother to ink the whole thing, just parts of it. All right. Now we're going to play with some panels. Make sure everything is punched out. Guys, if you're cutting black cardstock like this, make sure you cut it on intricate no matter what your design is. That way it will cut well for you and not rip. And you don't have to glue every little single area on these. It will stick. This is the only thing that's not Cricut so far. This is Michael's Recollections 65 pound. And we're just going to glue all of these up really quickly. So what did some of you guys do for Valentine's Day? We stayed in. Oh, thanks, Donna. So many options with this box, guys. You can do some of the Marvel papers or Disney papers. These are going to be super for Easter and Mother's Day. So many things you can do. Make sure you got all of your paper punched out on these before you glue them onto your panels like that, or you won't be able to get it out. Yeah, it's definitely time for a new blade for me. That one's been in there since, I don't know, Thanksgiving. So now I have those. Try not to get, if you're using art glitter glue, on your gold foil because it will dry matte and clear. I'm going to set that one to the side for the bottom so it won't be seen. And these all do go a certain way. You have a right and a left on these. I'm just catching up, chat. Last Tango, P.F. Chang's. I cooked. I stayed on my diet. Yay! I'm missing a couple of leaves here. I don't know where they went. All right, guys, we're almost done. Make sure that you're gluing the right side of these, because if you don't, you'll have to recut. My pieces, all my gold is sticky. I used a new blue matte, and so they're sticking to my work surface. I don't know if anybody else has a problem with that. My green mats don't do that, but my blue mats do. They leave my cardstock sticky. And since they were panels, I didn't mind, since they were going to be stuck down anyway. All right. That is done. I am missing one of these and one of these. Oh well. As they say, as soon as the live is over, they will appear magically. So then you're just going to, I got that one off just a little bit. If they're off, guys, you do want to trim them. I know that they're not off. I can see that I got off the edge because I don't want that gold to shine through. I'm going to trim that piece off. We're just going to glue them on where they go. Super easy, super simple box. Uh-oh, there's a big dog outside barking. It's going to make mine bark. Make sure you're getting glue on all your edges so that they don't lift up on you. You found a missing teddy bear paw. You have noticed that with the mats. I was wondering if that's what it might be, Jamie. They're in my craft cabinet, so they're away from heat and all of that. But you know, I did order them back in the summer, so maybe that is. See, and there's nothing on the back of that except where I got it off my blue mat. Sticky. Nope, wrong side. There we go. This box is so pretty. How many of you guys cut down your paper for print and cut so that you have paper for note cards? These are great for that. Make great little gifts you could drop off at nursing home or retirement center. Love, love, love. Now, if you wanted, you can make corners and go in there and put those corners on. If you do that, you cannot do the hinged lid back here because if you glue that on, your lid is not going to lift. The corner is going to prevent it. When you glue it on, it's going to prevent it from opening, okay? You could do the front or you could do the bottom. So if you wanted to do corners, it would be really pretty on there, but you don't need them. You can do without as well. Just some extras. Right. It didn't do anything to my Cricut cardstock, just the smooth backed gold foil stuff and my vellums. I try not to put them on a blue mat because it leaves them kind of sticky. Guys, I'm loving this box. I wish I could find the rest of my leaves. Maybe I won't need them. Maybe I won't need them. Just going to place that on there. And then I got to decide if I want. I knew that one might be too big. Oh, I like that. Yeah. That's where I'm going. Now, if you have these other leaves, you can give them a little 3D look by gluing that. I wish I could find the other one. I would like to use it, but. And I just glued this one flat to the box, guys. I didn't want to put any dimension on it. Let me see. I'm going to put those there. I think I'm going to put this one here. No rhyme or reason, I just stick wherever. And I'm just using some dimension foam dots here. Probably put 2 on this one. All right. Oh, I almost forgot. I do want some ribbon. One piece of ribbon in there. I don't know. That's probably, I don't know, 10 inches. Probably don't need that much. But that's what I grabbed. These are glue lines. They're the same as glue dots. And I stuck my finger in it. Just get in there. That way I've got my flowers on top of that ribbon. I just got a little piece tweaking out there because I'm going to go in from the inside so I can press that down. And then I want to do this one maybe there. I'm trying to get it where my ribbon will. There we go. Right between them. There we go. And you can hot glue these on if you want to. I bet I can't get that to go under there. I get it. I'll get it. I'm a ribbon fiddler. There we go. I just kind of want a loop to stick out. Yay, she finally gets it. And she messes it up. There we go. That should hold that ribbon there, and then I'm just going to trim that down. And I am using a glue strip to stick my ribbon. I know that's cheating, but you can see why. Having a big old issue with it between my fingers. There we go. It doesn't want to cooperate. There. Yay! How pretty is that? Super easy, super cute, super fun. You can make them open from the end, from the top, both sides. That's pretty. You can put Nuvo drops on this part if you want. I did that with this one. Put some in there. I don't think I'm going to put any corners on this one. I think it's pretty just like it is. Of course, it is really pretty too. Can't decide. Thank you, Jamie. Great minds think alike. If I don't put the pin in that glue, next week it won't open at all. So does anybody have any questions? I actually cut the other one, but I don't think I needed it. If I had made the box taller, then I could have used this rose as well, and then we could have added another leaf or two. Just depends on how big you make the box. And you can see that these two are a different height. I don't have my lid on here. There we go. So you can change the height of those as tall as you want, as big as your Cricut can cut it. Super easy, fun, and quick, guys. Because, I mean, if you've got flowers sitting around left over from projects, it'll go even quicker. So make sure that you're keeping those. Roll them up, throw them in a box. Like this one, I didn't use it, so I will put it in a box. Use it on another project. Super, super fun. Does anybody have any questions? If you could cut it in less than 6 minutes, you can make one. Cutting it is going to vary. Thank you for bringing that up, Shirley, because I really need to make sure that you guys understand. This is the time. These panels, these went pretty quick because you have to cut 8 panels, okay? And these cut pretty quick. When you get into those intricate floral ones, like the one I put in there for this one, these take time to cut. But if you cut it on intricate cardstock, it will cut it. You won't have any problem. And the reason it takes so much time to cut is because intricate cuts 2 times. Okay? Instead of trying to cut all the way through, because if you try to cut all the way through on something like this, on one pass, it's just going to be a big mess. It's going to chew it up in all of these tight, small spaces. It's just going to chew up your cardstock. But if you just take the time and do that intricate cardstock cut and let it cut 2 times, it takes longer, but your results will be much, much, much better. I lost my straight pen for my ribbon. All right, any questions? Guys, if you get stuck using that file, please let me know. Because like I said, you are not limited. You can use your own designs from the internet. You can use anything from design bundles, Creative Fabrica, as far as your patterns go. Because if you look, these 2 sides are different. You know, I did these out of a pattern. I sliced out of different portions. So you can use those pattern pieces any way that you like. You can put a name in there and do that. So very customizable. I can't wait to see some Easter ones though. This one's great for Mom's Day. Put some cologne and some candies in there. Note cards. This one I did note cards, Shirley. Like I said, when I cut my card stock down for my print and cuts, I have to cut off that 4-inch edge so I can make it a 8.5 by 11 sheet, 3.5-inch edge, I should say. So what are you going to do with all these pieces? I use them for punching. When I use my punches and die cutting, I use them for cutting my flowers. You can cut smaller pieces out of them, but you can cut these down to 3.5 and still have a 1/2-inch strip for other things, and then by 8 and fold it in half to make your note cards to fit in here. Now this was at the size that it imports for the note cards. So this one is the 4-inch. So an 8-inch card folded in half, 3 inches wide. Because it's just over 3 inches, they fit in there perfectly. Yeah, you need to go in and set up your file and play with it. Again, I left them blank so that you guys could put your own Design Space images if you have access, or you could put your uploaded images into them. But this design here was from Design Space. And all this is on the side is the 3 center. Well, I used the first 3 pieces. You could do dot, diamond, dot. I did mine the other way. All I did was contour. Yeah, scraps work for a lot of things. I cut these flowers from scraps. So I needed a pink one. I didn't have a pink scrap. I used a piece of my white scrap and just inked it so that I could get that pinky white look. 2-tone rose. No, Donna, it is not. It is, I don't even think it's 65 pound. It's heavier than copy paper, but it's not as heavy as 65. Now they have some that's on craft cardstock, has a craft cardstock backing. That one's a little heavier. I'm going to say this is vellum weight. What is vellum? 28? Is vellum 28? I don't remember. I have to look it up. I don't remember. Or is copy paper 28? I don't know. I have to look up on a chart because I can't remember them all. All right, guys. Thank you to all my moderators. Thank you to all my Ko-fi and Patreon supporters and all of my YouTube memberships. Greatly appreciate you guys. Couldn't do this without you. Again, Wednesday we'll be live and we're going to be talking about tracing on Sure Cuts a Lot. Oh, good, Shirley. Yeah, sometimes you can look up at the Dollar Tree and find some stuff. You guys have a wonderful tomorrow and a good night tonight. Stay well, and I will see you on Wednesday.